Welcome everyone to tonight's matchup against the Chaska Hawks JV versus the St. Louis Park Orioles JV. We'll get started in about 40 seconds here. Chaska's coming in off a loss to Bloomington, but played very solid hockey. The Orioles are coming in, having lost their last matchup. It should be good hard action, end to end. We'll get ready here for the starting lineups as the players pick up the puck. Players stretching, getting loose, ready to go. Players take their respective benches. Starting in net for the St. Louis Park Orioles, goalie junior Matthew Sahidi. And making his season debut, Max Minigan for the Chaska Hawks. Marco Tobin steps in for the face-off with Sully Hogan. Tobin with the face-off win, back to Greer. Greer over to Anderson. Puck kept in by the Orioles. This is Neudecker. Thormasgaard chips it loose, can't quite get it loose. Neudecker picks up the puck behind the net. Tobin takes a hit from Fallness. Thormasgaard, nice play, can't quite clear the zone. Here's Fallness. Puck kept in, shot from the point, Minigan with the save. Follow-up shot by Newton. Thormasgaard breaks it out of the zone, over to Tobin. Tobin ups it deep. Steered aside by Sahidi. Orioles managed to break out. Sumstead steps up, good defensive pressure, keeps the puck in the zone. Thormasgaard to Tobin in the slot, can't quite capitalize, shot. Sahidi with the save. Sumstead picks up the puck behind the net, out to Young. Young looks, over to Thormasgaard. Thormasgaard dumps it deep. Tobin picks up the puck behind the net. Reverses course over to Brink. Over to Tobin. The Orioles finally clear the puck, put it all the way down on Minigan. Minigan steers it aside. Sumstead picks up the puck. Over to Sorensen. Sorensen through the middle to Cooper Swanson. Swanson steps into the zone. Good defensive pressure by the Orioles. Sorensen picks up the puck, gets a shot high up and over the net. Crazy rebound. Erickson didn't quite see it come off the glass. Young steps up, puts the puck towards the net, blocked. Erickson dumps it deep, behind the net. Swanson behind the net. Can't quite get it out. There's Runyon, passes it around. Young steps up to keep the puck in the zone. The Hawks managed to have the turnover. Puck comes out to Runyon. Runyon with a shot high and over the net. Battle along the boards. Erickson picks up on the far side, reverses course. Back to Sumstead. Sumstead, good play out to Swanson. Swanson over to Sorensen. Sorensen breaks through the middle, dumps it in. Lassio picks it up. Gieske managed to keep the puck in the zone. Wacker picks up the puck behind the net. Dumped into the zone by the Orioles. Sorensen back behind the net over to Hallman. Hallman out to Gieske. Hallman steps up, keeps it in the zone. Pass through the middle. Here's Powell. Powell brings it into the zone, dumps it back. Can't quite connect. Highland picks up the puck in the zone, dumps it in. Follows the play. Here's Bergquist back. Bergquist turns, fires. The Orioles try to clear the zone, can't quite do so. Schwartz there to pick up the puck. The Orioles finally chip it. It's tipped. Hallman back, pick up the puck. I know, it's super annoying. Erickson along the boards. The Orioles dump it back into the zone. Hallman in retreat. Chips it up to Erickson. Here's Hogan, picks up the puck behind the net. Hogan around the front, dumps it deep into the corner. Willis picks up the puck. Over to Highland. Can't quite clear the zone. Hallman reverses course. Here's Hogan. Over to Newton. Newton with a shot. Good save by Minigan.
I feel like we started a little faster today.
Ooh, a little bit better start for the Hawks today, for sure. Hagen back out to the point. Shot toward the net by Piper. Can't quite connect. Deflected in the middle. Brink to Thormesgaard. Isaac Anderson dumps it up. Can't quite get it in. Puck dumped into the zone. Greer picks up the puck. Nice clear out of the zone. Bouncing puck. Brink in, sprinting down. It's foot race with Piper. Brink managed to center the puck out front. Couldn't quite connect. Isaac Anderson steps up. Thormesgaard toward the middle. The Hawks keep the zone as they look to dump. Nice block there by Hagen. Brink down in the corner. Works it over to Thormesgaard. Thormesgaard dumps it across. This will be icing. With 9:19 to go in the first period. Score tied at 0-0. Face-off win by the Hawks. Thormesgaard picks up the puck. Turns. Can't complete the pass to Tobin. Young keeps the puck in the zone. Over to Sumstead. Hawks try to dump it in the zone. There's Brink right there and tries to get over to Thormesgaard. Thormesgaard with a shot on net. Sahidi with the save. Sahidi having a couple good saves here so far. Puck over to Testo. Young wraps it around the boards to Sumstead. Sumstead over to Brink. Brink turns, tries to clear the zone, can't quite do so. Sumstead loses his footing going into the corner. Gets a little crunch for his activity. St. Louis Park brings it in through the middle, can't quite connect. Tobin with a nice steer. Sumstead clears the zone. Puck back to Testo. Over to Young. Young chips it, can't quite get it out.
You're good, sorry.
Puck goes back to Sumstead. Sumstead tries to clear the zone, can't quite do so. Here's Newdecker. Newdecker tries to cut through the middle. Good back check pressure there by Young. Sorensen steps up along the wing. Tries to clear the zone. Young picks up the puck in the corner. Newdecker steps in. Young steps up. Gives Hogan a nice proper introduction. Cooper Swanson steps in. Puck battle in the corner. Good play by Hogan to keep working with the puck. This is Newdecker behind the goal. Nice play out to Sorensen. Sorensen tries to clear, manages to do so. The Orioles will have to regroup as they dump it deep. Turns, shot, Minigan with a nice save. Sorensen steps up, can't quite clear so. Puck's right back for Newdecker. Newdecker, Morton Minigan with a great save. Max Minigan in his season debut, sprawling save. Keeping Newdecker off the board. Bauer Anderson picks up the puck to Gieske. Gieske dumps it deep. Wacker on the far side, reverses course over to Gieske. St. Louis Park tries to clear the zone. Shot by Hallman. Blocked in front. Puck goes into the crowd. Hey! And it brought down another puck from on top of a light. It's a 2-puck special.
That's awesome.
Wacker with the face-off. Face-off win by St. Louis Park. Puck goes right out in the slot. Nobody there for Chaska to get the shot on net. Here comes Bergquist. Bergquist moves around, works his way through. Minigan there with a nice save, pushes him wide. Gieske dumps it over. Wacker tries to get it through the middle, bouncing puck. Right in the slot. Oh, just wide. Nice play there by Brust. Brust picks up the puck back out to the point with a shot. Nice save there by Hallman off the arm. Wacker picks up the puck. It's in a foot race. Here's Bergquist back. Good back check there by Bergquist. Puck flipped up into the Orioles bench. Schwartz will step in to take the face-off. Face-off win by Schwartz. Over back to Isaac Anderson. Can't quite get the shot off. Erickson there. Tries to turn, get the shot. Can't quite do so. Good play by Anderson to keep the puck in the zone. Greer dumps it deep. Hawks will have to clear the zone. Here's Piper. Steps up. Can't get it out. Anderson keeps it in. Erickson there, dumps it deep. Puck behind the net, there's Piper. Pass out front. Here's Powell, tries to bring it deep. Anderson steals, wraps it around. Greer behind the net. Over to Brody Erickson. Greer back to Erickson. Anderson tries to move forward. Good forecheck pressure by the Orioles here. Erickson exits the zone. Cuts to the middle. He's looking for some help. Good play there by Erickson. McCoy ultimately was there to tie him up along the boards. Sumstead can't quite keep it in. Young chips it into the zone, dumps it deep. Puck goes behind the net. There's Piper. Newdecker into the corner. Puck's chipped out of the zone. Sumstead there, quickly pick up the puck. Sumstead takes a big check. That was a nice check by Piper. Eddie Piper reverses course, manages to get the puck out of the zone. Sumstead chips it in. Battle through the neutral zone, over to Young. Young over to Thormesgaard. Thormesgaard tries to take it deep in the zone. That'll be a 2-minute penalty at the end of the play. Newdecker.
Good call.
With 3:35 to go in the first period. Newdecker will take a 2-minute roughing penalty.
That was completely unnecessary.
It sure was.
Couldn't be happy if I was their coach in that.
Yep, it sure was. With 3:35 to go, Marco Tobin steps into the face-off. Face-off win by Chaska. Sorensen takes a check, Brink right there. Center of the pass, but nobody there to get the shot. Hogan takes the puck into the zone. Good forecheck pressure there by Thormesgaard. Tobin picks up the puck behind the net. It's big body by Fallness. Tobin brings the puck over. Tries to weave through the zone. Hawks keep the zone. Oh! Offsides call by the referee on the far side of the red line. With 3:03 to go in the first period. Score 0-0.
That was pretty close.
That was close.
No, you'll be fine.
Tobin steps into the face-off with Brust. Nice face-off win by Tobin. Over to Isaac Anderson. Anderson, good pass over to Brink. Brink's got Tobin in the middle and he shoots high and just over the net. Thormesgaard keeps it in. Remember, folks, Hawks are on a power play. Pass right out to Brink and nice play. Nice setup play. Sahidi with a nice save.
Nice chance.
With 1:11 to go in the Hawks power play. That was a nice pass from the corner to Tobin, out to Brink. Brink almost tipped it through. Tobin steps up for the face-off. They maintain control through the zone. Orioles manage to clear. They dump it deep. Isaac Anderson back, retrieve the puck. Outlets over to Brink. Hawks have a 4-on-3. They look to dump it in. Sahidi pushes it side. With 42 seconds remaining in the power play by the Hawks, the Orioles manage to clear the zone yet again. Thormesgaard back to pick up the puck behind the net. Hawks looking to regroup. Over to Tobin. Tobin tries to complete the pass over to Thormesgaard, can't quite do so. Over to Anderson. Anderson through the middle. Picked up there by Hogan. That'll be a 2-minute penalty by Isaac Anderson for tripping with 1:50 to go in the first period. That'll create a 4-on-4 for the next 16 seconds.
It's unfortunate. Right call. But
It was. Swanson steps in, wins face-off, back behind the net. Young picks up the puck. Manages to clear. 5 more seconds. It's offsides. Oh, they got Tobin for the trip. Okay. There are 3 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4. St. Louis Park now on the power play for the next minute 33 remaining in the period as they look to enter the zone. The Hawks looking to set up the box. The Orioles work their way around the top of the point, shoot it just wide. turnaround shot. Good save there by Menningen.
That was close.
Hogan had a nice turnaround. Got the shot right off on Menningen. Menningen was there, right in the breadbasket. Nice save. With 1:12 to go in the first period.
I'm guessing it fell in after he fell?
I think so. I think so.
We'll take it.
All right, Hogan there for the face-off against Thormesgaard. Orioles maintain control in the offensive zone as they work the puck around. There's Piper. Dumps it back deep into the corner. He's got Hagen. Hagen works. He's looking around. Back to Hogan. Good work there by Chaska to get the puck free. They put it right down, and then he scores! Thormesgaard with an unbelievable shot on net. Sahidi was not paying attention. With 44 seconds to go in the first period, it is a short-handed goal by Jacob Thormesgaard. On one of the more crazy goals you'll see.
It was in the zone.
What a crazy goal, folks. The Orioles are going to want that one back. That's a short-handed goal. It's unassisted. The Hawks again dump it deep.
That just goes to show when you put it on there, good things can happen.
Good things can happen. The Orioles bring the puck up with 23 seconds to go. Cut towards the middle. Nice defensive pressure there by Brink to chip the puck free. As the Orioles look to work the puck around. Here's Brust. Brust tries to cut to the middle, can't quite do so. Back out to the point shot, tipped into the corner. Brink there, picks up the puck, reverses course. That'll be the end of the first period. At the end of the first period, the Hawks lead 1-0 on a crazy goal by Jacob Thormesgaard with 44 seconds remaining. It's a short-handed goal. On the penalty by Tobin. We are going to take a 1-minute break before we begin the second period.
The Orioles will be on the power play for 10 seconds.
Total shots at the end of the first period are 5 for St. Louis Park and 4 for the Chaska Hawks. Again, score, Chaska Hawks 1, St. Louis Park nothing. That's one of the weirder goals you'll see for sure. All right, as we begin our second period, St. Louis Park will have a 10-second power play. As Marco Tobin is still serving the remainder of his roughing penalty. Levi Gieske will take the face-off against Sully Hogan. Gieske with the face-off win. Wacker dumps it into the zone. That should about do it for the St. Louis Park power play. The Orioles look to enter the zone. They get a shot. Doesn't get to the net. Puck bounces out front. Wacker's there. Gieske dumps it out of the zone. Good play by Greer. The Orioles can't get deep. Here's Hogan. Hogan tries to get down and get a shot on net. Can't quite do so. There's Bowl. Picks up the puck. Back out to the point. Here's Ryder. Or Bergquist, sorry. Puck chipped around the corner. That's Hogan behind the net. Hogan comes away with the puck. Back out to Newton. Newton shoots it across and it's tipped in for a goal. On the shot from the point from Bergquist.
That was a nice tip.
It was a nice tip. Bergquist at the point.
It went coast to coast.
Yep. And it was just tipped enough that Menigan couldn't quite pick up the puck.
That was close.
With 14:07 to go, St. Louis Park has just tied the game.
Scoring for St. Louis Park, number 9, Hudson Bowl.
So Bowl with the goal, tipped on the shot from Bergquist.
James Newton, time of the goal.
Highland picks up the puck, dumps it deep in. St. Louis Park picks up the puck behind the zone. As they look to exit, Erickson behind the net. Young steps in, pinches. Can't quite keep the zone. Schwartz, there's Young, dumps it deep into the zone. Hawks will get a line change. Sahidi wraps it around the boards. Picks up play behind the net. Puck's dumped all the way down by Runyon, and it should be icing with 13:07 to go in the second period. The Hawks are showing good offensive pressure tonight, just not getting a ton of shots on net yet. Tobin steps in face-off circle with Powell. Tobin with the face-off win. Dumps it loose. Willis back turns. Brink picks it over to Tobin. Tobin tries to get it back to Brink. Can't quite do so. Battle along the boards. Picked up here. Shot on net. Minigan with a nice save. Good quick shot. But Minigan there for the save. Willis steps up. St. Louis Park brings it back around the boards. There's Tobin, reverses course, picks up the puck. Up to Brink. Brink tries to backhand it out of the zone, can't quite do so. Puck's dumped back in. There's Hallman, picks up the puck on the far side. Tries to chip around the forward, can't do so. Shot deflected wide. Tobin picks it up behind the net. Here's Willis. Willis up to Brink. Brink, the outlet pass just misses Thormasgaard. Thormasgaard in a foot race. It's not going to be icing. Good forecheck pressure there by Thormasgaard. Weird bounce off the boards, puts the puck right in the slot. No Hawks there to quite pick up the puck. Here's Hogan. Nice steal by Thormasgaard in the neutral zone. Hogan picks the puck back up. Brink with forecheck pressure. Creates a turnover. Sorensen there. He's looking for a break in the middle. Saucer pass. Tobin just can't quite connect. Nice play through the middle. This looks like it's going to be a penalty.
Take that.
This looks like it'll be a penalty on St. Louis Park's Isaac Bergquist. With 11:35 to go, this will give Chaska their second power play opportunity. On the hooking penalty by Bergquist. Gives Hawks their second power play opportunity. They're 0 for 1 so far on the evening. Brink picks up the puck behind the net. Chips it back to Thormasgaard. Thormasgaard looks to connect. Wraps it around back to Anderson. Anderson reverses course over to Tobin. Tobin tries to clear the zone. Nice offensive pressure there by Runyon. Good play by Bold to keep the puck in. Sorensen picks up the puck behind the net. The Hawks power play has yet to clear their zone. Great forecheck pressure for the penalty kill.
Come on, boys.
Anderson tries to chip it. There's Bowl again with the shot toward Menigan. Menigan with a nice save. Oh. Tobin picks up the puck in the neutral zone. Over to Thormesgaard. Puck picked up behind the net by Piper. Piper dumps it all the way down. Minigan there to steer it aside. With 43 seconds remaining on the Chaska power play. Chaska's yet to get a shot on net. Tobin can't quite get the ball. Hogan there. Anderson dumps it in. Can't quite get it deep.
Good penalty kill.
Great penalty kill by St. Louis Park. Anderson picks up the puck behind the net. Dumps it out to Brink. Brink races down. Brink's got a head start. He cuts in and Sahidi with a one hand. He tries to bring it past. Good defensive back check. Forced him to the one-handed shot. Here's Hogan as he brings it up. Dumps it deep. Minigan there behind the net. St. Louis Park effectively killed off that the penalty kill. Swanson dumps it down net. Sahidi there for the save. Getting a stoppage in play with 9:22 to go in the second period.
You gotta pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, it feels like they've slowed down this second period. Swanson steps in for the face-off. Sumstead with a shot toward the net. It's blocked in front. Good block there by Piper. Sumstead picks up the puck behind the net. Wraps it over to Young. Young tries to reverse course. Picked up by St. Louis Park. Kept in the zone by the Orioles. Play behind the net. Young picks it up. He looks up to Erickson. Erickson connects to Swanson. Swanson over to Sorensen. Good exit out of the zone. Can't quite get it deep enough. Erickson back to pick up the puck behind the net. Good reverse of course for Sumstead. Erickson steps up, shot toward the net. It's wide. Young dumps it back around. There's Sorensen to pick up the puck behind the net. He's got Erickson across the middle. Tipped into the middle. Orioles managed to bring it into the zone. There's Sumstead to pick it up. Dumps it wide. Sorensen with a nice chip. This will give the Hawks an opportunity to go ahead and get a fresh set. Newton back for a return. Good forecheck pressure there by Swanson. Newton brings the puck out. Steps up. Moves around Young with the shot right on Minigan. Minigan with a nice save. With 7:53 to go in the second period. Shots on goal. St. Louis Park with 8. Chaska with 4. And the score tied 1-1. McCoy will step into the faceoff with Wacker. McCoy with a faceoff win. Back to Bergquist. Bergquist with a shot on net. Gieske picks up the puck. Can't clear the zone. The Orioles dump it deep. Holman there to pick it up. Reverses course over to Gieske. Gieske looks. Over to Willis. Willis, Anderson. Anderson dumps it across. Gieske there to pick it up. Gieske dumps it deep. This will be Piper picking up the puck behind the net. Good forecheck pressure by two Hawks with Wacker and Gieske. Gieske comes away with the puck. Holman picks it up in neutral zone, dumps it deep. With 7:04 to go in the second period. Bergquist turns, tries to connect with the winger, can't quite do so. Puck's chipped out. Holman there to pick up the puck in the neutral zone, dumps it deep, delayed offsides. The Hawks clear the zone. Picked up here by Piper. Piper moving the puck across the neutral zone. Brings it in. Brings it back. There's Erickson. Can't quite clear the zone. The Orioles maintain control. Shot toward the net. Nice tip there by Wacker into the corner. Pick up there by Neudecker. As he dumps it out, there's Bauer Anderson to pick up the puck behind the net. Hogan steers the puck towards the net. Can't quite get there. Willis picks up the puck behind the net. Gets a nice check from Fallness for his effort. Wacker up to Erickson, back to Wacker, can't connect. Fallness with a shot toward the net. Minigan there to pick up the puck. Holman comes in to make a nice introduction. With 6:03 to go in the second period, St. Louis Park 1, Chaska Hawks 1. St. Louis Park has come out better in the second period, put a lot more offensive pressure on the Hawks. Face-off win by the Orioles, back to the point. Shot by Bowl. Minigan there for a nice save.
Max has played nice in his debut.
Max has sure played good in his debut, for sure. Face-off win there. Another shot. Minigan there for the nice save. Erickson moves across. Can't quite get through. Hogan. Hogan dumps it deep. There's Fallness. Reverses course back to Hogan. Hogan looking to find and connect with somebody in front. Bull chips it deep. Hogan. Battle in the corner. Fallness comes out with the puck. Looking to cut across the middle. There's Bull for the shot. And Minigan with a nice save. The Orioles have placed a lot of offensive pressure on the Hawks here this second period, not giving the Hawks any opportunities to get a shot on net. Face-off win by Schwartz. Over to Anderson. Can't maintain control. Bull with the shot. Minigan there with a nice save. Schwartz steps into the face-off circle with Hogan. Schwartz, Hogan with a face-off win. Puck goes in the corner. There's Bowl and retreat back to Hogan. Hogan moves the puck behind the net. Passes right up front, can't quite connect. There's Erickson there in the slot to pick up the puck. Highland tries to clear it, can't quite do so. The Orioles manage to maintain the zone. There's Fallness behind the net, using his big body to shield it, looking for an outlet pass in front. Shot to the point. Tipped along the way. Minigan with a nice save. Over to the corner. Greer deflects a shot up and out into the net. With 4:55 to go in the second period. And the score tied 1-1.
So is it right that they have no sophomores on there or no freshmen on their team?
Looks to be true. Marco Tobin steps into the face-off with Brust. Brust with a face-off win. Shot from the point, wide. Step-up play by Piper to keep the puck in the zone. Here's Brust. Picks up the puck in the corner. Young reverses course over to Tobin. Tobin picks up the puck behind the net. Can't quite get it through. There's Brust with the pickup. Back to Tobin. Tobin managed to pick up the puck in the corner. Over to Brink. Brink looking for the centering pass. Hawks managed to clear the zone. Steal here by Bergquist. Bergquist moves in. Minigan with another great save. Great effort by Bergquist to pick up the puck. Managed to get himself a breakaway, but Minigan was there for the great save. Sumstead steps up, takes a hit. Nice play there by Brust to cut into the middle. Put a good defensive move, put a good move on Young. Nice stick lift there by Tobin. Tobin looking for Thormesgaard. Thormesgaard with the puck right through the middle. Thormesgaard's got a breakaway. Sahidi, and he shoots it off the post. Goalie's best friend makes a save. The post. Young from the point shoots it. Sahidi with the shot. Deflects it into the corner. Back into the front, and there's a goal by Thormesgaard. Thormesgaard there to pick up from Brink. That's Thormesgaard's second goal of the game. This one a little more traditional than the last. With 3:35 to go. That was a great goal. Nice pass by Brink. Pick up the puck behind the net. Swanson steps into the face-off circle with Hogan.
Scoring for Chaska, number
Holman steps up. Nice play, dumps it back in the corner. Chaska takes a 2-1 lead.
11-25.
Sorensen picks up the puck behind the net out to Willis. Willis with the shot toward the net, deflected into the corner. Erickson picks up the puck behind the net. The Orioles manage to exit the zone. Here's Bowl. Bowl turns. Works his way around Holman, tries to get the puck through the middle. Nice play there by the Hawks. Good back check. Sorensen picks up the puck in the corner. Holman dumps it out to Swanson. Swanson chips it through into the neutral zone. Orioles try to get a deep, can't quite do so, but here's Hogan to pick up the puck, and he gets an opportunity and a shot wide. Great play by Minnigan to sweep across the crease. Great play by Minnigan there. Puck picked up in the middle. There's Swanson. They managed to clear the zone. This will be a delayed offside. The Orioles clear the zone, reset. Here's Willis behind the net with 2:30 to go in the second period. Over to Erickson. Erickson clears the zone. Here's Newton, dumps it back deep. Holman with the pickup behind the net. Wacker. Erickson picks the puck up across the middle. Can't clear the zone. Good offensive pressure here by St. Louis Park. They continue to drive, can't quite do so. Here's Newton, dumps it across, tipped into the middle. Holman with a shot, gloves it, drops it. Another shot from the point. Hawks managed to clear the zone. Wacker's playing a little soccer. He managed to dump it down. Sahidi behind the net to pick up the puck. Good forecheck pressure here. Gieske picks up the puck behind the net and dumps it towards the middle. Nobody there. Bauer Anderson can't quite keep it in the zone. Chipped all the way out. Isaac Anderson back in retreat to pick up the puck. Over to Willis. Willis up to Anderson. Anderson chips it forward. Picked up here by Bergquist. Bergquist back up. Anderson picks up the puck behind the net. Puck picked up here through the middle by Brust. Brust turns. Can't get the shot off. Anderson there with a nice pressure. Turns course, fires it wide. Puck goes into the corner. Gieske there.
1 minute remaining in the second period. 1 minute.
Isaac Anderson picks up the puck in the slot. Tries to reverse course. Good defensive pressure there by Brust to keep the puck back in. Wacker. Hawks are having a hard time just clearing the zone. Brust with a nice shot, and there's Minnigan for the nice save. Minnigan's played really well in his season debut tonight with 17 saves on 18 shots. Schwartz will step into the faceoff with Brust. Brust with a faceoff win, clears the zone. Good forecheck pressure by Erickson, forcing Hogan to turn. Or Bergquist to turn. Tries to clear the zone. Young tried to pinch, couldn't quite keep the puck in. Lucky for the Hawks, that was offsides, as two of the defenders for the Hawks defenders were caught back in the neutral zone with 24.3 seconds to go in the second period. The Hawks with a 2-1 lead. Schwartz steps into the face-off circle. Good win there. Erickson picks up the puck, dumps it deep into the zone. Orioles try to clear. Good play there. And Minnigan with another great save. Brust had stepped up to take the nice pass, got the shot on net. Minnigan had another great save. We'll move into the second intermission. So far, the story of the game is St. Louis Park has 19 shots on net, scoring 1 goal. The Hawks have 6 shots on net, scoring 2 goals by Thormasgaard. Pace has been dictated primarily by St. Louis Park, as they've spent most of the time in the offensive zone, but good play by Minnigan to keep him off the scoreboard. And the Hawks have responded when they have the opportunity. They've responded by capitalizing on the few opportunities they have. We'll take a short break, and then we'll be back for the third period. Welcome back, everybody. As we get ready for the third period, Chaska Hawks have a 2-1 lead on 2 goals by Jacob Thormesgaard. In the first period, Thormesgaard scored with 44 seconds remaining, a short-handed goal. Then in the second period, Bohl answered for the St. Louis Park Orioles at 14:07, quickly into the second period with an even strength goal. Then Thormesgaard ended up with his second goal of the night at 3:35 of the second period on an even strength goal and an assist from Brink. Penalties so far is in the first period. St. Louis Park's Neudecker took a roughing penalty at 3:35 to go in the period. Chaska also had a penalty in the first period with Marco Tobin with 1:50 remaining for a tripping penalty. In the second period, St. Louis Park's Bergquist took a hooking penalty at 11:35. Shots on net, St. Louis Park 19. They had 5 shots in the first period, 14 in the second period. The Hawks had 4 in the first period and 2 in the second period. As you can tell by the shot differential, St. Louis Park put a lot of pressure on the Hawks in that second period. Great goaltending by season debut Max Minigan. Starting in the third period for the Hawks, Nathan Brandt has come in replacement or in relief. Sahidi is the goaltender for St. Louis Park Orioles. Marco Tobin steps in for the face-off for the Hawks. And this is Brust. Brust picks up the puck, dumps it deep. Puck behind the net. Brandt tries to wrap it around Anderson, can't quite do so, manages to turn around. Odd bounce off the boards, puck right out to the point. Shot just wide there by Bergquist. Will Sumstead picks up the puck, exits the zone. Not to be confused with his brother Owen Sumstead, the defender. Brink back to pick up the puck in the neutral zone, dumps it deep. This will result in icing.
So Sumstead playing tonight, said no?
Yep, in this third period,
Yeah.
Will Sumstead has stepped in. Marco Tobin will step into the face-off circle with Brust. Tobin's done well on the face-off dot tonight. Face-off won by Brust. Back to Hogan. Hogan moves the puck. Hogan tries to reverse course. Back to Brust. Can't quite connect. Lucas Greer there to pick up the puck. Chips it. Oh. Bergquist managed to keep it in. Knocks loose. Tobin, as it's chipped through the neutral zone, turns, reverses course, takes a hit from Greer. Picked up there by Hogan as he dumps it wide of the net. Brust behind the net. Isaac Anderson clears the zone. Puck's going to go all the way down for icing with 13:51 to go in the third period. St. Louis Park is starting the period just like they finished the second with offensive pressure. Hagen steps into the face-off against Cooper Swanson. Swanson with the face-off win, back to Young. Young reverses course. Over to the other side, Brody Erickson there to pick it up. Back to Owen Sumstead. Tries to reverse course, can't quite do so. Puck's chipped all the way out in the middle. As this was passed out by St. Louis Park, they'll have to retreat. Cooper Swanson with a nice pressure. Sorensen there to keep the puck in the zone on the near boards. Young pinches, but St. Louis Park managed to clear the zone. They dump it deep. Haas back to pick up the puck. Wraps it around the boards. Young managed to keep it in. Good play. Swanson turns. Looking for a shot toward the middle. He puts a shot right on Sahidi. He just steers it wide. Erickson there to pick up the puck. Over to Sorensen. Sorensen tries to reverse course back right in front. Sahidi's there. Awkward bounce, and it looks like it's a goal. It looked like Sorensen dumped it in front. The puck dribbled right under Sahidi with 12:57 to go in the third period. It looked like Sorensen tried to dump the puck out front, and it was deflected, but yet went right under Sahidi for the goal. Swanson will step into the face-off circle with Powell. Swanson with a face-off win. Puck goes into the corner. The Orioles manage to maintain puck control. Young steps up, moves to the middle. Dumps it deep. Sorensen in pursuit. Backtrack here by Newton. Tries to wrap it around the boards. Puck's loose. Chipped out. Young there. Bergquist back, picks up the puck behind the net. The Hawks smell blood. They want to get more shots on net. Shot towards Sahidi. It's just up and over the net there by Bauer Anderson.
Looks like they picked up the tempo.
Hawks are starting to come alive here in the third period. Good keep there by Willis. The Orioles managed to clear the zone. Hallman, they're trying to quick get it into the zone as Orioles, they have a line change. Puck dumped behind the net. Good forecheck pressure there by Gieske. Here's Fallness. Wraps it around. They were able to clear the zone fairly simple. Here's a big play. Nice save by Brandt right there on Brust. Brust had a wide open breakaway. Good save there by Brandt. Battle through the neutral zone. Hallman keeps it from going into the Chaska defensive zone. Bauer Anderson tries to cut course right across the middle. Tries to get the shot on net. Good defensive pressure there, forcing him into the corner. This is Piper. The Orioles clear the zone. Chaska dumps it deep right back. Jack Schwartz in pursuit. Here's Piper back behind the net. Dumps it over to Eddie Piper. Puck's right on Sahidi right in front. Sahidi with the save. 10:54 to go in the third period. Chaska with a 3-1 lead. St. Louis Park has dominated the shots, having 20 shots on net to Chaska's 7. But well-timed execution by the Hawks give them a 3-1 lead. Jack Schwartz steps into the face-off circle with Hagen. Anderson dumps it towards the net. Jay Kylan there to pick it up. Wraps it right back around. Nobody there for Chaska behind the net to pick up the puck. The Orioles try to clear. Isaac Anderson there. Puck manages to clear the zone. Orioles dump it in all the way down. Brandt behind the net, pick up the puck. There's Greer. Reverses course to Isaac Anderson. Intercepted there. Good play there by 36. Hawks can't quite clear the zone. Isaac Anderson behind the net. Dumps it out. Can't quite do so. Puck chipped up. Back into the corner. Good play there by Isaac Anderson as they dig in the corner. Here's a move by Runyon. Runyon puts a shot on net. Brandt there for the easy save. With 9:58 to go in the third period, Hawks with a 3-1 lead. Marco Tobin will step into the face-off dot with Brust. Brust with a face-off win, back to the point. Chip toward the net. Owen Sumstead picks up the puck behind the net. Up to Marco Tobin. Tobin goes wide, Brink dumps it deep. Tobin in pursuit. Will Sumstead deep into the corner as they battle deep. Good work there by Tobin. Sumstead comes up with the puck. Dumps it out to his brother Owen. Will turns, works his way towards net, back behind the net for Tobin. Tobin looking for Brink out front, can't quite get the pass going. Young steps up, pinches, takes an elbow for his cause. St. Louis Park clears the zone, they dump it down. Owen Sumstead picks up the puck. Nice play over to Will. Will tries to enter the zone. Can't quite do so. The Hawks dump the puck deeper into the corner. Owen Sumstead there to glove the puck to keep it in. Will Sumstead steps up with a big hit. Young tries to do so there with Fallness. Fallness repels him. Will Sumstead steps up, dumps it into the zone. Puck behind the net. Good play by Tobin to intercept. Tobin looking for a break out front. Can't quite turn the corner. Will Sumstead picks up in the corner with the shot and just high and wide. Young dumps it towards the net. Brink there. Another good play by Young to keep the puck in. St. Louis Park manages to clear the zone. Here's Powell. Powell brings it down. Good back check pressure there by Tobin. Tobin up to Brink. Hawks need a line change. They'll do so here. Owen Sumstead takes the puck deep behind the zone, giving the Hawks plenty of time to get a line change. St. Louis Park ices the puck with 7:57 to go in the third period, and the Hawks with a 3-1 lead. Good offensive set there by the Hawks, providing a little bit of offensive pressure. Swanson steps in to take the face-off. Face-off win by Swanson. Holman picks up the puck, dumps it towards the net, deflected there. Good defensive pressure here. Sorensen picks up the puck. Sahidi with the save. Holman dumps it towards the net. Good forecheck pressure by Swanson. Creates a turnover. Swanson turns around, shoots it. Sahidi with a nice stick save. Hawks have really come to life here in the third period. Puck's tipped way up. Holman there in retreat. Dumps it back. Sorensen dumps it deep. Orioles trying to clear the zone. Good pressure here by the Hawks to keep it in. Swanson battles along the near boards over to Sorensen. Sorensen tries to get the shot on net. Doesn't quite do so. Puck chip back. Willis there to step up. Dumps it towards the net. The Orioles managed to clear the zone. Willis got some pressure, but that'll be icing. With 6:51 to go in the third period. Much better last couple sets have been a much better offensive effort by the Hawks. Finally starting to put a little bit more pressure on the defenders for St. Louis Park. Moving the puck better, for sure. Hogan steps in with Gieske. Gieske with a face-off win. Back to Greer. Greer dumps it into the corner. Anderson to pick up the puck behind the net. As they battle behind the net, here's Brust. Brust comes away with the puck. The Orioles clear the zone. Here's Fallness. Turns. Dumps it deep. Hogan picks up the puck behind the net. Tries to turn. Good defensive pressure there by Greer. Gieske steps in for the defensive effort. As Gieske and Hogan battle along the far boards. Brust tries to gain it. Hogan with a clear. Nice job by Gieske. Keep the puck out. Anderson can't quite tip the puck free. Good defensive play there by Greer, knocking the puck back into the corner. Fallness is followed into the corner by Isaac Anderson. The Hawks managed to clear the zone. Dump deep. Orioles have to reset on the delayed offsides. Bauer Anderson over to Wacker. Wacker looking for some help, but the rest of the Hawks need a line change. Wacker steps into the middle. Gets sandwiched for his effort.
He got waxed. Sorry, couldn't resist.
It was a good one.
If the entire audience isn't groaning by now.
Our master video specialist with a good dad joke. With 5:32 to go in the third period, the Hawks with a 3-1 lead. Schwartz will step into the face-off dot here with Hagen. Puck controlled behind the net. Good forecheck pressure by Erickson. Erickson looks to get Highland in front. Highland takes a shot from behind, can't quite do so. There's Young behind the play. Can't get the shot off in time. Dumps it towards the net. Defender for the Orioles picks up the puck. This is Eddie Piper as he works his way down, dumps it deep into the zone. Brandt behind the net to stop the play. He's going to work it through. Sumstead over to Young. Young turns, tries to reverse course. Puck ends up in the slot. Here's Highland, picks up the puck. As the Orioles work it around, there's Piper. Good play by Erickson, put the body there. Schwartz gets a stick in, gets lucky, doesn't get a tripping call. Good play by the Hawks, pick up the puck in the neutral zone. Hawks dump it in, they're going to try to get a few fresh bodies on the ice. There's Will Sumstead, picks up the puck. Here's Piper, dumps the puck deep. Brandt there to pick it up. Young behind the net, reverses course, nobody there. Back to Young in the corner. Here's Hogan, picks up the puck. Good play by Owen Sumstead. Owen Sumstead picks up the puck, moves his way out. Chips it down, it's going to be on net. Sahidi's going to have to make the save, dumps it over to Will Sumstead. Good play by Brink to pick up the puck on the far side. The Orioles manage to bring the puck down. Here's Brust, he shoots it towards the net. It's off. Here's Hogan behind the net. Managed to work his way down. Owen Sumstead. It's going to end up with a hooking call, even though it was right in front of the other referee.
Yeah, the one across the ice had to make the call.
The one across the ice makes the call versus the referee right in front of the play with 3:35 to go. St. Louis Park will get their second power play of the game. On the hooking call on Owen Sumstead. That'll be a timeout by St. Louis Park as they try to set up for the power play with 3:35 to go in the third period.
You're going to have to be watching the net to see when they pull it.
Quick recap. St. Louis Park will take a 2-minute power play with 3:35 remaining in the third period. Chaska Hawks with a 3-1 lead on 8 shots on net versus St. Louis Park's 21 shots on net and 1 goal. Scoring in the third period's by Chaska's Sorensen at 12:55 to go in the period.
So what do you think, down 2 here? Do you pull the goalie early with the power play?
With the power play, pull the goalie early. You got nothing to lose. Everything to gain, nothing to lose. Unless you believe your power play is strong enough to be able to pick up that power play goal on its own. That way you defend, then you pull after. But you got nothing to do. Looks like St. Louis Park is going to pull Sahidi. This will result in a St. Louis Park 6-on-4 opportunity. Whoop. Looked like Sahidi came and sat on the bench. Now it looks like, coach is motioning him in. Marco Tobin will step in to take the face-off for the Hawks. Brust will step in for the Orioles. Face-off win there by Tobin. Willis into the corner. Great play by Willis to clear the zone, forcing the Orioles to exit the zone. Good forecheck pressure there by Will Sumstead. Will Sumstead putting good forecheck pressure, forcing the Orioles to just dump the puck in, giving Holman an opportunity to chip it up. The Orioles try to maintain control, move the puck over. Good save by Brandt on a great shot, and the puck goes into the net. Bergquist with a great shot from the point, Brandt with the initial save. And then Fallness there to go ahead and capitalize on the empty side. So Fallness with 2:57 to go and a power play opportunity has scored the Orioles' second goal of the game. Chaska picks up the puck behind the net. 2:50 remaining in the game. Now we'll see when the Orioles decide to go ahead and pull Sahidi, try to get that 6th attacker, and maintain control down into their defensive zone. As they look to enter the zone, here's Isaac Anderson back. Quick chips it over to Greer. Brink picks up the puck on the far side as they battle along the boards. Greer comes out with the puck, dumps it around over to Isaac Anderson. Sorensen there. Tries to clear the zone, can't quite do so. Still 5-on-5 action. They haven't pulled Sahidi yet. Here's Bergquist back to pick up the puck. Great pressure there by Cooper Swanson. Dumps it out in front, can't quite connect with Bergquist there. Anderson dumps it back up along. Good play by Brink. Nice check, giving Swanson the open puck. They can't quite capitalize on it. Here's Bergquist, picks up the puck. Looks to work his way through the neutral zone. Tries to get through Isaac Anderson. Great defensive play. Sahidi, they pulled the goalie, so it's now 6-on-5. Empty net opportunity. There's Brink, puts a shot on net. It would not have counted as it was offsides. Brink working hard on the far boards. Fallness picks up the puck, manages to clear the zone. Sorensen works his way in. Here's Hogan. Hogan picks up the puck behind the net. Looking to wrap it around. Can't quite do so. It's in front. Brandt with the pickup. Hawks need to clear the zone. Sorensen clears it. This is going to be right down. It's going to be wide for an icing call with 1:14 to go in the game.
That was close.
Very close. 6 inches to the right. Would have given the Hawks a 4-2 lead. With 1:14 to go, it's 3-2. St. Louis Park has pulled their goalie. Brust steps in to take the face-off with Tobin. Tobin, back Brust wins face-off. Orioles manage to keep the puck in the zone. Here's Hogan behind the net, dumps it out front, can't quite get there. Here's Bergquist, picks up the puck out front. He's looking to dump it towards the net, can't quite do so. Here's Newton, turns, brings it into the corner. There's Hogan. Hogan fires and Brandt there for the save with 52 seconds to go. St. Louis Park continues to offer a significant amount of offensive pressure. Chaska's goalies have managed to hold them off the scoreboard. Brust steps into the faceoff with Tobin. Tobin with a faceoff win, back to Isaac Anderson into the corner. Anderson dumps it down. This will result in icing with 45 seconds remaining in the game, or in the third period. Brust will step into the face-off with Tobin. Good play by Tobin to win the face-off. Back to Anderson. Anderson can't quite clear the zone. There's Tobin as he dumps it down. Tobin fires it all the way down, right into the net. That'll score with 36 seconds to go in the game. With 36 seconds remaining in the third period, Chaska will take a 4-2 lead on the empty net goal by Tobin.
But these boys needed that win.
They sure did. Face-off circle. Cooper Swanson steps in. Nice face-off win by Isaac. Back to Isaac Anderson. Swanson dumps in. Shoots right on Sahidi and he scores. With 27 seconds to go, Cooper Swanson raced down the right side. Puts the puck past Sahidi. Great hustle play there by Swanson to put the puck on net. Put it right between Sahidi's legs with 27 seconds to go. Hagen steps in against Swanson. Swanson with a pickup win. Schwartz dumps it deep into the zone. Schwartz battling on the near side. Swanson turns, tries to dump it in the zone. Doesn't quite do so. St. Louis Park, back to defender. Defender up, dumps it in. It was tipped. Greer picks up the puck behind the net. Can't quite control it. Back out front. Shot just wide. Schwartz gets tripped. And that'll do it, folks. Final score, Chaska Hawks 5, St. Louis Park 2. Chaska Hawks with 5 goals on 10 shots. St. Louis Park with 2 goals on 25 shots. Combination goaltending by Max Minigan and Nathan Brandt hold St. Louis Park to 2 goals. Scoring summary is Jacob Thormesgaard at 44 seconds remaining in the first period scored a shorthanded goal. In the second period, Bull for St. Louis Park with 14:07 scored with an even strength goal. In the second period, Jacob Thormesgaard again scored with 3:35 remaining on an even strength goal, an assist from Brink and Young. In the third period, Sorensen kicked off Chaska scoring with 12:55 remaining. Then it was Fallness for St. Louis Park. Tobin and Swanson wrapped up the scoring at 36 seconds remaining and 27 seconds remaining for the nice 5-2 win. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.